Well, the shutdown melodrama continues. I love the smell of melodrama in the morning. It smells like the United States Senate. I said the other day that this shutdown is just further proof that human evolution is a slow process. This shutdown, what you're witnessing now, is just further proof of why it took human beings thousands of years to learn how to stand upright. This shutdown is bone deep, down to the marrow, stupid. Some shutdowns are based on policy. Some shutdowns are based on politics. Some shutdowns are based on a combination of both. This one is pure. It's pure as ivory snow. But I don't think Senator Schumer is the person in charge, because Senator Schumer is not the leader of the socialist wing of his party. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is. She's running the show. It was no accident the other day the Congresswoman let it slip. She said, if you really want to negotiate at the end of this shutdown, come see me. Come see me.
Welcome to Liberty Trigger. Well, here we go again, folks. Another government shutdown, and like Senator John Kennedy said, this one is bone deep stupid. And he's right, because this isn't about fixing problems. This isn't about the American people. This is about power. Pure, raw, socialist power. And guess what? The radical left is running the show. You think Chuck Schumer's in charge? Please. The guy's a figurehead at this point. The real boss of the Democratic Party is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Yeah, AOC, the Instagram influencer turned politician who thinks socialism is sexy. She's running the show, and she's holding this country hostage until you, the taxpayer, fork over $1.5 trillion.
And I think any fair-minded person has to look right now and say that the two leading members, the quarterback, the two leading members of the socialist wing of the Democratic Party, the quarterback is Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. Now, her substitute is Senator Bernie Sanders. But I think it's the Congresswoman who's calling these shots. Now, Mr. President, I don't hate anybody. I've said that repeatedly, and I mean it. I like all of my colleagues. I look for grace wherever I can find it. When I say my prayers, I do. Every single time, I ask God, don't let me hate. Because it's hard sometimes. It's hard up here. But I do. I say, God, don't let me hate. And I certainly don't hate Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. I want to make that very clear. She has the right to her opinion. She has the right to try to have the socialists take over the Democratic Party. That's the American way. Ironically, I think what she's doing is anti-American, but she has the right as an American to do it, so I don't hate her. But I judge her by her policy. She has her opinion, and I have mine. And I have to judge her candidly by her policy. Here is what the socialist wing of the Democratic Party, led by Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, has said to the American people and to the United States Congress and the Republicans in Congress. If you Republicans don't agree to make the federal government $1.5 trillion, not million dollars, not billion dollars, $1.5 trillion bigger, we're going to shut government down. Well, of course we said no. I'm not going to vote for that. My mother didn't raise a fool. And as I've said before, if she did, it was one of my brothers. I'm never going to vote for that. Now, where do I come up with this figure of $1.5 trillion? Well, the first thing that the socialists and Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is asking us to do is to repeal the health care reforms in the One Big Beautiful Bill. We just passed them. Here it is, Subtitle B, Health in the One Big Beautiful Bill. Now, we didn't cut Medicaid in the One Big Beautiful Bill. In fact, under our bill, Medicaid is going to increase 2% a year over the next 10 years. Now, what we did by reforming Medicaid, which Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez wants us to reverse, we cut out the waste and the fraud. For example, we found out that there are, no kidding, I'm not just making this up, we found out that there are 2.8 million people on Medicaid who are double dipping in America. They're either signing up for Medicaid in Louisiana and Mississippi, double dipping, or they're signing up for Medicaid in Louisiana and they're signing up for the Obamacare subsidies. That's called cheating. Our bill would put an end to that. And it would save about $140 billion on 10 years. The socialist wing of the Democratic Party and Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez want us to reverse that. The second thing we did in our health care reforms in the One Big Beautiful Bill is to say you've got to stop lying when you apply for Medicaid.
Trillion, folks, not million, not billion. Trillion. It's like monopoly money to these people. And what do they want that cash for? Medicaid fraud, welfare abuse, bloated Obamacare subsidies, and pet projects overseas. Let me spell this out. They want people making $200,000, $400,000, even $600,000 a year to get taxpayer-funded health subsidies. Think about that. The hard-working middle class is footing the bill so rich elites can play victim. That's not health care. That's theft. Then there's Medicaid. Republicans finally cut out some of the fraud. People double-dipping between states, lying about their income, living off programs they don't qualify for. We stopped it. What does AOC want? Open the floodgates again. Why? Because dependency is the left's favorite political weapon. Keep people dependent. Keep them voting blue. That's the game. And here's the kicker, work requirements. Republicans said, if you're healthy between 19 and 64, no kids at home, you should work 20 hours a week, go to school, or do community service to qualify. Pretty reasonable, right? Wrong, says AOC. In her America, laziness is a full-time job. And guess what? You're paying the salary. Folks, welfare was meant to be a bridge, not a hammock. But the socialist Democrats, they're building hammocks the size of Texas. And don't even get me started on the foreign projects. Kennedy listed them out, and I had to double-check to make sure it wasn't satire. Vasectomies in Zambia, electric buses in Rwanda, dance classes for male prostitutes in Haiti, millions for LGBT programs in Serbia and Uganda. Folks, you can't make this up. We're $34 trillion in debt. Veterans are sleeping on sidewalks, and these clowns want you to pay for pastry classes in Port-au-Prince. Absolute insanity. And while Democrats are demanding all this, what are Republicans asking for? Just 6 weeks. That's it. 6 weeks of a clean, continuing resolution. No pork. No trillion-dollar giveaways. Just time to negotiate. That's called compromise. But to the radical left, compromise means give us everything we want or we burn the house down. That's not politics. That's ransom. And let's be clear, this isn't about helping the poor, the working class, or even immigrants. This is about one thing, turning America into a socialist state where government runs everything and elites like AOC sit at the top, lecturing you about fairness while living off your paycheck. Patriots, I'm telling you right now, don't buy the media's lie that this shutdown is Republicans' fault. It's not. It's the socialist Democrats demanding a $1.5 trillion ransom in exchange for keeping the lights on. They're holding America hostage because they think we're too weak, too distracted, too divided to fight back. But they're wrong. So here's what we do. Call your representatives. Flood their phones. Tell them, no trillion-dollar ransom. No foreign pork projects. No socialist welfare state. America comes first. Not AOC's wish list. Not Pelosi's leftovers. Not Schumer's cowardice. We stand for freedom, for hard work, for the Constitution. And if they don't like it, too bad. This is still our country. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with every freedom-loving American you know. Together, we'll fight the socialist takeover and keep this nation the shining city on a hill that God intended. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.